What's up, traders? It's Chris from Grindstone Trading here. I wanted to talk to you guys about, obviously, the trade of the day today with PRPO, and I didn't touch this one all day, and I'm going to explain why. Basically, the long and the short of it is I wasn't seeing any news for it. What was actually happening is my brokerage was not showing the news for it. So for the first half of the day, I thought it was running on nothing. By the time I realized it was actually running on something, it was already past $4, which still would have been a solid buy as it turned out, but that's just not how I play the game. But I just wanted to go over the chart with you guys and show you guys what I missed, how silly I feel about missing it, and all the different patterns that set up during the day that were so obvious. One could have just played this one today and ignored everything else because the volume stuck with this one all day long and made 200, 300% on your money very, very, very easily. And I'm going to show you exactly how, in hindsight, one could have done that with simple chart patterns here. So I've condensed this chart. This is after the pop this morning. It started the day even below this, but the chart it ran so much you can't even see the patterns if I don't do it this way. So right off the bat, you can see fairly clearly it popped to about the same level, popped again to about the same level, and cooled down some. I arrived at trading a little late today. I don't think I actually arrived at my desk until about here. So I could still see the volume was really, really good. But again, my brokerage was not showing any news until later in the day. About here in the day, then all of a sudden all this news popped up way back over here, and it drove me up the wall. Anyway, you can see it pop again to about the same level it popped it before, about the 240, 248 level, not breaking 250 here. So as a day trader, you could have traded this one of a few different ways. Way number one, you could have looked at this as a falling resistance line here and ultimately bought the break of that here. This would be considered a very, very aggressive trade that obviously would have paid off in a huge way. The more conservative way to play it would have been to go, okay, we've got top, 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 and then basically because this line has been tested now 4 times, we can call this a pretty solid resistance line. So the more conservative way to play this would have been to wait for the break here and buy this break. Again, slightly aggressive, but the more conservative way to do it was wait for the break and then wait for it to retest to make sure that this resistance is now support, which is what we want to be buying off of. So you could have either bought the descending resistance break here, you could have bought this break here, or you could have bought this pullback right here. Any 3 of those would have been wildly, wildly profitable. And then we have another setup, almost exactly the same. It pops to about the $3 level now, working in sort of 50-cent increments here. Traders seem to be doing. Does about the same thing again, 295, 295. So we've got a reasonably solid resistance line here. We've got it tested twice for sure. Once it kind of broke on the wick and then quickly receded all the way back down to the 275 level. So again, and then you've got another descending resistance setting up here. I don't really like to draw out the full thing and give them all names. I play with simple lines. That's all I do. Volume and lines. I don't, this is flagging or this is a pennant. It doesn't really matter because ultimately the way you play it is the same each time. You've got a resistance and a support. That's basically all it is. So we've got 2 resistances setting up. We've got one horizontal resistance setting up, and we've got a sort of a diagonal resistance, a descending resistance setting up here. So again, an aggressive buy, you could have bought the break here, or you could have more conservatively waited for it to break here and then pull back and retest it, which it did 1, 2, 3 and a half times. So we could see that this resistance line had become a support line. And ultimately, you could have bought any of these pullbacks here with a stop just below here, just in case you're horribly wrong. Only been out a few percentage points on your dollars had you been wrong, but you wouldn't have been wrong. You would have been up an insane amount of money. Then we've got finally starts to peak out and pull back here. If I turn my moving average indicators on, you can see that it barely touched SMA 20. This was a true SMA 20 break here. right around 1 o'clock trading time, which is really the only time I think anybody would have gotten nervous. And then basically, I'm just going to turn these off to get them out of our way. Then we've got the same pattern setting up again. We've got a peak here. We can see it pull back. Peak out again. We've got lower highs happening now. So we can draw a resistance line between those highs. And then when we see that it's broken back above that, and now sort of, it never comes back down to fully retest this, seldom if ever does on these patterns, but we can see that it's playing with that same sort of support line. I could actually even put another line right in here. And we could call this very much a, there we go. So it's playing with this line, not quite as cleanly as it was playing with these horizontal lines before, but the same idea still applies. As soon as it breaks here, the aggressive traders jump in, boom, shoot it back up. The more conservative traders wait to make sure that this is now actually going to act as support, shoots up again. Fails this time, comes back down, and it keeps retesting and retesting 380, call it 385, 386. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times it tests 385. Then it finally breaks above, and we get a little pullback to this point, and you can see now it's truly acting as broken resistance, acting as new support. Again, for the 1, 2, 3, 4th time it happens on the day. So it breaks, bounce, 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 shoots up again. So a buy on any of these pullbacks to the new support line with a stop just below it would have paid off again in a huge way. And again, I can't emphasize, I completely missed this one today. I'm beating myself up for it now. I saw it all day, but my brokerage was not reporting any news on it, so I just kept ignoring it. Like, traders are having a lot of fun with this one today, but because it's not running on anything, eventually it will collapse. I was wrong. I should have checked several sources. My bad, guys. So, at any rate, this is how I would have played this one today had I been paying any sort of attention at all. All of these setups are very, very simple. Barring this little jumble in here, these are all extremely clean textbook patterns that you could literally just Google, how do I day trade, or day trading for complete idiots, and it'll show you these patterns in ways that are this clean. And that these are the charts people use to teach people how to day trade. That's how clean these setups actually were. And I didn't touch it at all because of a simple bonehead move, and then I got busy doing other stuff during the middle of the day, and by the time I came back, I'm like, wow, it's up over 100%. This is insane. So then I started leaving it alone, thinking it's run too far already by the time I realized there was news, and just continued to leave it alone. So anyway, I won on a few other trades today. Nothing this significant, but I did win on a few other things today. At any rate, I'm going to pay more attention over the rest of the trading days this week, guys. I hope you guys all had good luck today, and I hope you continue to have good luck for the rest of the week. Take care, guys.